welcome to our first podcast with your host, Simon and Joseph. Today we're just going to be talking about what's going on around the college basketball world right now. Me and Simon I'm a Indiana Hoosier fan, he's a Louisville fan, but we will try to not be biased when we talk about this stuff because you all don't want that. So, the main thing I'm going to talk about right now is last night's game for Indiana Ohio State. Uh, Great game. Went over pretty well, but not on IU's part. Um, we were all in it in the first half. I kind of had a feeling Ohio State would pull away at some point, and they eventually took an 11-point lead. And so I think Miller Kopp had like 7 points in under like 2 minutes. And so I want to get into this fast about Indiana's field goal percentage. We're on a 5-game losing streak right now, and so we have a drought in scoring. Defense is superb. I mean, our defense is awesome. Our field goal percentage is very, very low at an all-time low right now. 34.4% from field goal. That's absolutely terrible. And 3-point, Ohio State had 31.6 from. They went 31.6% from the deep range, and IU went 31.6. So the same thing, but still, that's not good. We need to figure out who our shooters are and who's gonna make the shot, because Xavier Johnson was taking a lot of our shots, which I'm not saying he can't, because he's a really good basketball player, but um, Parker Stewart made, I'm pretty sure, 3 threes last night. And Miller Kopp, I mean, if he can start knocking the threes down, that'd be awesome. I mean, because he is a spot up shooter. He can come off the dribble, he can come off the screen and shoot a three. So that's what's really good about him. And with that loss, Indiana drops to 16-10, and now is on the bubble on a lot of brackets right now for bracketology. We are currently last four out, and this game also went into overtime. And we could not hit free throws. I mean, Xavier Johnson went 10 for 10 from free throw, and Trace Jackson Davis did not that good from free throw. But when it came down to a close game, he started hitting free throws, which is good. Malachi Branham had a really good game, and EJ Liddell did too. Malachi Branham also did not miss a free throw. And Xavier Johnson went 3 for 12 from field goal percentage, which is not usually him. He's usually making crazy shots, but he had 16 points, and I'm really happy about the 10 out of 10 free throws, because he can make free throws. IU had 11 turnovers, which it's a little more than we would like to have, and it's a ranked Ohio State team, but Ohio State had 12 turnovers. So it's kind of telling you, like, you know, Ohio State and Indiana are a very similar basketball team, if you ask me. They have pretty much identical statistics. Rebounds, they both had 38 rebounds, and with that game, there was 13,744 people there at that basketball game, and actually, it wasn't as loud as I thought it would be. But it was like 72% filled up. So, and then we had 20. We went 22, 64. That's all the people shooting jump shots and layups. Ohio State shot 48.1% from field goal. That's a massive difference than us. We shot 34.4%. It's just those second halves where we just come out soft. Indiana hit 6 threes. That's a lot for Indiana, actually, believe it or not. But we should be making at least 8 or 9 a game, because if we got Miller Kopp, Parker Stewart better looks, we'd be awesome from that. And we got a lot of work done on the defensive and offensive glass. The reason Ohio State lost to Iowa is because they were getting beat to their defensive glass and our offensive glass. We ended up getting 23 defensive rebounds and 15 offensive rebounds, and Ohio State only had 7, and they had more defensive rebounds than us. But other than that, Yeah, and I'm gonna let Simon talk right here.
Yeah, I know you guys haven't heard from me yet. I'm Simon Barry, and I'm the biggest Louisville Cardinal fan you're ever going to meet. And again, Joseph, thank you for that wonderful and extensive report of the Indiana versus Ohio State game last night. Well,
Yeah,
if you're a Louisville fan today, and you obviously know that Louisville's not had the best season ever, but, and this is a big but, not as big as Trace Jackson Davis's but it's a big but. So, Louisville basketball, although we have a losing record right now, it does not matter at all because, and if you're a Louisville fan, again, you will know that Louisville last night lost to the big boys, North Carolina, okay? And let's just say that was a pretty close game till the end. But Louisville choked it at the end. And my theory is Louisville did that on purpose. We're doing that because we want people to underestimate us in the ACC tournament because we're going all the way, baby. When it comes time to go to Brooklyn for that ACC tournament this year, you better expect the Cards to come out on top. Yeah, last night we lost North Carolina 70 to 63. Honestly, that was a very winnable game for us, and
very winnable.
just at the end we didn't execute, and that's just the way it is. Last night, Louisville had three players with 10 points: Jalen Withers, Malik Williams, and Dre Davis. I'll tell you, so I don't. I really like Malik, but some of the threes he takes, like that one step back one that he made, looking like James Harden or something. Like
Joel
if he
Embiid.
makes those all the time, I'm okay with it. But if he bricks them, I'm not. That's obvious, but it's true. And when it comes time for the ACC tournament, because if that's going to be coming up soon, Louisville's only got three more games left in the season, and I'll get more into those games in a second. If we win this ACC tournament, in my opinion, as a Louisville fan, totally unbiased opinion, actually very biased opinion, that will be the greatest comeback a team's ever made in college basketball history. And you know what? Our team doesn't have one player that is scoring double digits. We have like 15 guys that score 9 points a game. And I'm okay with that as long as Louisville wins the ACC tournament. No matter how many times we lose, I'll always feel okay as long as I know the ACC tournament's coming up. And Louisville's last three games are going to be toughies because we're not playing bad teams. We're not playing like Clemson had a good year last year in basketball, but this year it's not been good. So we're not playing a Clemson. We're not playing a NC State. NC State, honestly, they're not like they're the last in the ACC, but Darion Sebron's really good. And I wouldn't say they're a terrible team, but it's like not like we're playing bad people. Our next game is Wake Forest. And although when you think of basketball, like recently, not like early 2000s, late 90s, Wake Forest is not the type of team that you're thinking, oh, well, this dude's good. Oh, yeah, dude. No. But this year, they've had a great year. And you know what? It's at Wake Forest. That's going to be a tough game. But I think Louisville, we're going to win it because Mike Pegues is one of the greatest coaches of all time. And that is an unbiased opinion. He's way better than Mike Woodson, better than Archie Miller, better than Tom Crean, better than Bob Knight, better than all of them. And you know what?
Um.
That game
Okay. So
tomorrow, not tomorrow, but on Saturday, February 26th, Wake Forest is going to fall to the Louisville Cardinals. And that's just the way it is. Okay, and the way I see it,
Okay.
even if somehow I'm wrong, Louisville is still going to win the ACC tournament. It's all got a plan, all right? Now, Louisville beat Clemson, which is I wouldn't say the best like you I wouldn't brag on it, but at least it ended our 7 game losing streak. And you know what? It doesn't
Okay.
matter.
Do you
Louisville
have the
has
stats for
enough.
the North Carolina game? Can you pull
Yes,
those
I
up
do. Yeah,
and share them?
they're already up, buddy. All right, I'm prepared here. Okay,
All
and you
right.
know what? Louisville's got 3 more games left. Louisville is 12-15. If we win the 3 last games, then we'll be 15-15, and that is a record I would not normally be happy with, but I'd be happy with it this season.
Yeah.
And So what are you looking for, Joseph, in that Louisville versus North Carolina game last night? What are you looking for out of that? What kind of stats are
I
you
was
looking for?
looking for Louisville to get better looks on three pointers. I don't know what they make 7 threes last night.
Yeah, well, it is what it is.
They made what 7 threes? Simon,
And you know what,
did
Joseph?
was it
I don't care
was
what
it
you think
seven
about
three?
Louisville.
Oh my God, dude, I'm just okay.
What do you mean you're done,
Louisville,
boy? You're just a
they
little
need to
biased little
find
IU
they.
fan.
Oh my God.
I'm biased too, but you know
All right,
what?
I'm not gonna talk.
North Carolina is a you know what? They're not good. First time we could have beat them. Refs jacked it all up. This last time we meant to lose, so that's just the way it was. Just like I said, we want to be underestimated. And Armando Bacot had 15 rebounds last night, but only 12 points. And for him, stopping him to 12 points, I'm proud of that. Now Brady Manick, but he's got like the you know what I'm talking about. He's got that slick back hair, got that little Jordan little headband looking thing. You know what? He had a good night, and that's just the way it's going to happen sometimes. But if Louisville didn't want to lose that game, he would have only had like 2 points. That's all I'm going to say. Louisville's winning the ACC tournament. That's basically my point here. It's easy money in the bag. And let me just give you a couple Louisville stats before we go back to Joseph on the Big Ten. Let's just say Noah Locke is our leading scorer, but he's tied for like the leading scorer spot. Him and Malik Williams are both average 9.7 points per game, and not far behind them is L. Ellis with 9 points per game. And Malik Williams is our leading rebounder this season with 8.0 rebounds per game. And Jared West, great facilitator, averages 3 assists per game. Although his offensive game isn't like the best in the world, he can make some shots still and stuff. I'm not trying to discredit him, but his best is his facilitating and his defensive ability. And Malik is our leader in steals with 1.3 per game, even though he's had a couple games this season where he's been suspended. He's overall had a pretty good season, I would say, but there's always ups and downs and stuff. And then our blocks per game is 0.6, which when you are like our leader, which is Malik, averages 0.6 blocks per game. And when you look at that compared to Indiana, that looks like pitiful. What do you think, Joseph?
Side note: Trace Jackson Davis makes gets about 2 rebounds. I mean, no, I mean not two, 2 blocks a game. Like probably more. I think it's like 2.7. I'm pretty sure. But
Well, can I
Louisville,
just make one point before we go?
yeah.
I would just like to say that Louisville, if Louisville wins the ACC tournament, that'd be crazy because considering on Ken Palm
It'd
we were
be a
ranked
really, really good
128th.
turnaround their season.
Considering on Ken Palm we were ranked 128th, and on the net we were ranked 124th. And then obviously we're not in the AP poll top 25. Now Indiana, on the other hand, they could obviously still like make it, but they just need to win probably the next Purdue game they got. Because Indiana is
Uh,
ranked 43rd on the net, and on Ken Palm they're ranked 49th, which it's a field of 68, so technically you guys are still in that. But then you also have to have all the teams that win their conference tournament to be in it, which those teams
right,
may not necessarily be in the top 68.
right. Like Georgia Tech last year, beating winning the ACC tournament.
Yeah, that was. I mean, although there was some COVID stuff that had played into that, Jose Alvarado, obviously a great defensive player, won ACC Defensive Player of the Year. On that team was honestly, I did not think that they would win that at all. But they had two of the best players in the ACC on that team, and I think I can't remember, but they had one team that they got a bye on to make it to the championship game because that team was like,
Yeah,
they got COVID or
COVID.
something. Now, I'm not trying to discredit Georgia Tech or anything, but this year they have been definitely not as good
Yeah,
because they are close to last in the ACC, and obviously they don't have like they still have good players on the team, but they're just not. They don't have Moses Wright anymore. They don't have Jose Alvarado and their two top guys anymore. So they're just not the same team this year. And it's Louisville's turn to win it, baby.
yeah. I just want to, Simon, thank you for that conversation. You did really good on that. I want to point out that we got Iowa Hawkeyes basketball ranked at 25 right now on the AP poll. Michigan State dropped out after a loss, and now Rutgers has 35 votes. Which I think Rutgers. There's no reason why Rutgers should not be ranked right now. They have bad losses, but I mean, when you get five quad one wins in a row, I mean, Simon, that's an automatic rank, don't
Yeah,
you think?
Rutgers are normally not that great of a team, but you know the Big Ten's loaded this year, and the ACC is just not. ACC's got some good
Right,
teams that are close to being ranked, but for the most part, it's Duke and everybody else.
right.
Like you got some good teams in there,
Yeah,
like Wake Forest, Notre Dame, Miami, but none of them are currently ranked. And Duke, what are they, eighth,
yeah. Hang on. Duke
seventh? Yeah,
is
seventh.
seventh. Yeah, they moved up.
Yeah, they're 23-4, and
Yep.
they got the best record in the Atlantic Coast Conference. But what really impresses me is any team in the Big Ten. It impresses me. Like I don't care if you're Indiana and you got a losing conference record, you're still a good team because the Big Ten's a
Yeah,
hard conference to play in, especially this year.
it is. It is. I mean, after we beat Purdue, I mean, I thought it was just like all set. I thought we were gonna like be like an awesome, awesome, awesome tournament team. But you gotta give the guys credit. I mean, they're playing their hardest. So you can see it in their eyes, see how they play. I just wish we could catch a break because we deserve to be in the tournament. So does Louisville. It's sad when you don't like to see your team fail, and it
Definitely
just
not.
hurts me.
Yeah.
And I also want to point out that Marquette has also dropped out of the rankings. So is Wyoming. Wyoming has 24 votes to be ranked. Marquette with 12, and oh, Notre Dame with 4. We're talking about a big turnaround of their season.
Yeah,
Huge
Mike
turnaround.
Bray's done a great job.
Very good job. And Alabama,
And from the
dude,
game,
honestly, Crimson Tide, I really don't think they should be ranked. I mean, I really do not think they should be ranked. I
SEC is good
know
this year too.
they are. They are. I'm not saying that. I'm not putting anything out on Alabama.
When you got two teams
Alabama,
like Kentucky and Auburn,
yeah,
like obviously I'm a Louisville fan, I don't like Kentucky, but those are two like Final Four contending teams.
I agree. I agree. And Alabama's good. Don't get me wrong. But Purdue, Purdue, Illinois. I mean, that's everybody's talking about the who knows who's going to win the Big Ten tournament. I mean, it Indiana could go on a winning streak out of nowhere,
It could
which
go to
I mean I
anybody.
hope which I would hope would happen. But Rutgers looking real good right now. They keep that, they'd be a really really good NCAA tournament team, which I'm pretty sure they're in right now if they can just keep winning games. If Rutgers got in the NCAA tournament, I can see them potentially being a Sweet 16 team, honestly. And I Purdue does not have good luck with March Madness, and I mean I'm right about that. Am I, Simon? I mean Purdue does not have good luck in the tournament at all.
No,
So
they don't. But I mean, it could be different this year,
it could be
but
different. Yes, I agree.
you never know.
They have Jay Ivey, Travion Williams, Zach Eady, which is a paint beast. I mean, when you say paint beast, a paint beast. So is Travion. I'm not putting him past him either. Uh, Purdue could be number one again, but that's not going to happen. Number three, Auburn loses again. But Gonzaga, okay, Gonzaga by far has probably the easiest conference in the whole Division One thing
They do,
because
but well, I wouldn't say the easiest conference necessarily, because I think BYU's in the same conference. But
they beat BYU
basically,
by 37 points at their own house.
Gonzaga they rely on their non-conference games
Yeah,
because they got a stacked schedule when it comes to non-conference. And when they get in the conference, it's not as good. But yeah, Gonzaga always a good team. Doesn't always like last year. They made it really far in the tournament, obviously, but they
yeah,
don't always do that because they've never won a
and
national championship, even though it seems like they're number one, number two, number three seed every year.
yep. Simon, I know
And
you're not gonna let me say this, but Kentucky's looking like a Final Four team this year.
they're a good team. I mean, nothing
They have
else
a
I can
pretty
say
good
about
shot.
that.
They have a pretty good shot in winning, and I'm telling you, I really think Kentucky's better than Kansas on my part. And I mean, they got Oscar Tshiebwe, Ty Ty
All I'm
Washington.
going to say is
They got a
Kentucky.
bunch of powerhouses.
I'm glad Louisville didn't play Kentucky only because Kentucky would have got so badly destroyed that they would have never wanted to
Okay.
play us again. And I want to play
Yep.
them every year
Yep.
because Louisville's the best team that ever existed, and that's just the way it works. And I have one last thought before I guess we'll end this episode, and then we'll see you guys again on the next one.
What?
The Big Ten's got 14 teams, and I'd say 9 out of the 14 teams are teams that could realistically make the NCAA tournament. Like Rutgers, if they do like makes a decent run in the Big Ten tournament, you got Purdue, Wisconsin, Illinois, Ohio State. Like I already said, Rutgers, Michigan State, Iowa, Michigan, and Indiana. Like Penn State, obviously, probably ain't gonna make it. And then Maryland and Northwestern, Minnesota, and Nebraska. Those teams definitely ain't gonna make it unless they somehow win the Big Ten tournament. But I'm just saying
Uh,
point is, Big Ten tournament. I mean, Big Ten tournament's going to be a really good tournament to watch, really competitive, and that's all the thoughts I got for today. If Joseph's got anything else,
yeah,
you can go ahead.
I got one more thing about this. Uh, Basically, the top nine teams, Indiana being ninth, they're yeah, you're right, nine teams could make it. I mean, that'd be awesome for the Big Ten, especially having nine teams in the tournament. Uh, Michigan, I'm pretty sure you all have heard about what happened with the incident about Jawan Howard. They're not going to have their head coach until the Big Ten tournament, so we'll see what happens here, and hopefully Indiana can pick up a win on Thursday. Hopefully Louisville can win on Saturday. We'll see. And thank you guys for attending this episode. This is Joseph and Simon, and we're out.
We out. Thank you.